Sergio back again today, and continuing on to day 2 of the decklist countdown for EX7. And well, coming to the Deja Vu vid, as the next deck that we'll be going over will be the upgraded version of the Dorugoro deck for Sons of Chaos, though now it's rebranded as the Sons of Chaos Dex Dorugoro. And before we crack into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help with the algorithm. And let's crack on to it. Going over the eggs first, as you could already tell, still runs the still trusty BT17 Dorugoramon as the egg for the deck. For black base, that is. As given that this is a Sons of Chaos deck now, you also have the option to go the other route with purple, and obviously for Sons of Chaos's purple base, Balmon definitely fits well at home with the the new Dex Doru line, as we get into it coming right up. And as well, entering into the rookie lineup now. The core is still a full playset of the BT17 Dorugoramon as the front runner, and also being able to cheat out your Kosuke as the memory tamer. And then from there, supporting that, is the new BT17 Dorugoramon as another Doru name. With this new Doru being able to digivolve being able to warp into Dorugoramon as long as you have Kosuke in its sources, and when you attack with it. Then going from there, I end up throwing in 2 copies of BT9 Dorugoramon as a draw engine, since it's on play, allows you to essentially curate your trash with 4 pieces to be set up, while also drawing you 2. Then following from that is 2 copies of the BT17 Black Agumon, which is in fact a Seekers related card. As well, this ends up being a very good support, as well, this Agumon, while it's passive on board, pretty much has the all turns. Whenever you play a Kosuke, you gain 1 and draw 1, while also granting Reboot as the inheritable. And this plays very well, given how you could pretty much benefit from having this Agumon just still stick around on board. As well, you could pretty much trigger that effect on either turn at the end phase, since Mind Link pretty much can be disengaged at the end of the turn, at the end of either player's turn, allowing you to gain some passive, card advantage the longer this Black Agu is on the board. And going from there, on to the level 4 lineup. And well, before I actually go into that, as for the purple base variation of the deck, I would say slotting in BT14 Luga ends up being the main change that gets swapped in, as BT14 Luga pretty much allows you to cheat in an AG to also gain back memory, and also be passive memory gain whenever Sons of Chaos gets played out. And then now going into level 4s, the main lineup still being full playset of BT16 Dorugo, for the taunt and draw engine. And given that my preference is for the black base, now bringing down Digimon to 2 copies to incorporate Marvin Jackson to the mix. And still running 2 copies of Sephirothmon to continue with the taunting aspect. Though another thing you could make use of, given the nature of hybrids, is the fact that you could pretty much recycle your Mind Link Tamers off of it, given that Mind Link Tamers can pretty much be played out from source at the end of the turn, pretty much creating a new body each time. And to round out our level 4s is 2 copies of the BT17 Dorugoramon as a form of, well, protection. As I've already gone over once. From trash, this Doruga can digivolve in over one of your Dorugamons if it were to ever be deleted, and then allows you to digivolve from trash into it. And then you get to have the choice to trash one and draw one, or pop a cost 4 less Digimon, while this grants reboot to the stack as inheritable. And then for the purple base, I'd say, for the most part, adjusting Sephiroth and Digimon out to incorporate other Sons of Chaos purple Digimon, such as Tyrannomon as a blocker and searcher and trash curator for the deck. Since Lugarmon as a Digimon Lugarmon is also another option as well for the Sons of Chaos purple lineup. Going from there into our level 5s, it ends up being a 4-3 split, still between Dorugoramon from BT16 and BT15 Megajimon for black base, with Dorugoramon being the main level 5 of the deck as your free evolve into your Dorugora, since returning back to its effects again. Dorugoramon has the all turns effect when attack target is switched, while this Digimon has the Sons of Chaos Tamer trait Tamer underneath its source. It may digivolve into any associated trait, in this case, Undead or Sons of Chaos, for this deck's case, given its new upper end, and you pretty much are allowed to digivolve for free. While Megajimon here still works very well, given that it is still a Sons of Chaos trait Digimon, with this pretty much allowing you to further add sources to a body, and still grants its very powerful when attacking the digivolve one opposing Digimon effect. Then on to level 6s. And this is where I end up playing around with the lineup, as it still runs 4 copies of Dorugoramon, being the main collision body, as well as being the main boss that you want to go for. Though that ends up being further supplemented by the new Dex Dorugoramon from BT17, who further grants a second life to Dorugora. As well, this new Dex also follows the new lineup's ability to evolve from trash, and has the very powerful and very cheeky when digivolving digivolve one, other way around, digivolve 3 on one opposing Digimon, And then if it was over a Dorugora when Digivolved, you get to then delete all opposing Digimon with the lowest level. In addition, it also carries over Dorugora's alternates of whenever another Digimon is deleted, you may unsuspend this Digimon. And then to supplement the new playstyle, to supplement the playstyle now, instead of Vikemon, I end up running one copy of Mega Gargomon Ace as the Ace option. As well, this ends up working well for the strategy overall, since you do want to see opposing bodies have the opposing board presence to make use of all of your Digimon in this case. With Mega Gargomon here, pretty much allowing you to, well, be able to put a stop to certain bodies while also still having a pretty decent blocker body on board. Since, well, gets to unsuspend when Digivolving and end of attack, as well as that when Digivolving to suspend down to opposing Digimons, as well as stunning two targets for preventing from being stunned from Digivolving into Digivolving up, really. And then from there, on to level 7 options. For the most part, I still run one Death X to stay on theme a little bit, as well as still benefiting from its, well, status as a staple, and especially in this tamer-heavy meta that we live in now. Though optionally, given the nature of the deck as well, you also could slot that in for Shine Grey Ruin mode, given that it's still a viable option to evolve into, given that it's purple as well. Therefore, you get to gain the benefits of controlling board by afflicting a minus 5000 DP blanket reduction to the opponent's board, coupled with its own on delete, that also being its on delete effect as well. Though between the two, you could pretty much just switch it up just depending on call or depending on your own collection. It will actually depend on your choice. So I end up flipping between the two depending on what I call for matchups. Then going over the Tamer lineup, we also go into a pretty Tamer heavy deck as well. Now running 3 copies of Kosuke Kisakata, 3 copies of Marvin Jackson, and to add to the Sons of Chaos lineup here, 1 copy of Eiji Nagasumi, as Eiji ends up being passive memory gain as long as the opponent has Digimon on board. Well, this Eiji, I mean. As well as granting your stacks, alliance, and blocker. And to further add to the sauce of the deck, thanks to Ben, is actually the inclusion of Yuji Masuya from BT17. As any Alphamon player knows, Yuji pretty much allows your X antibody stacks to gain another source from hand when attacking, as well as being passive draw and memory gain, since most of this deck is X antibodies. So moving up from raising still nets you some beneficial resources. Next on to options. For the most part, I still run full playset of defense training, and going further into tech choices. Still running the one copy of X-Anti Pro form, given that you still benefit from the resources that it gives, being able to reduce evolution costs, as well as recovering resources whenever its related stack gets deleted. And to round out the deck is the very also powerful Calling from the Darkness. As given the deck's new nature, Calling from Darkness can actually trigger your the deck's cards effects to Digivol from trash, given that it's delete one of your Digimon is an effect rather than is a effect instead of a cost. Therefore, you get to pretty much save that Doruga or Dex Dorugora, in my case, with its respective Dex counterpart, and then be able to recover 2 purple Digimon from trash. And that ends up also applying to other cases, such as Death X or Ruin Mode, to be recycled if they ever were to get trashed. And that's it for the deck part. Now on to the combos. Now going on to the combos, for the most part for the starting hand, you'd obviously want to see 2 rookies in hand. Though for priority, definitely BT17 Doru partnered with seeing Kosuke in hand to be able to establish Kosuke early when moving out from raising, or being the first thing you play to pass turn if you go first. Though seeing Marvin with Airdramon is also a good plus to see, as it ends up being another good combo play, as well as being some interruption given that Airdramon de-Digivolves when opposing Digimon if you slot Marvin in as part of its one Digivolving effect. And then obviously seeing Dorugoramon in that lineup to help build up board and curate trash. As pretty much from there, it's just playing according to setup, since your dex line can pretty much be your discard fire for some of your discarding effects. And on top of that, even though Lugamon isn't in the black base build, you could still pitch AG off to be used later, as once you establish your explosive stack with Doru Gray as the level 5, you pretty much end up seeing a lot of benefits, given that Dorugoramon allows you to recycle, be able to play out cards from trash as long as they are play cost of 5 or less. And from there, it's pretty much just a whole lot of beating down the opponent through sheer might as you use your board presence of Collision, or just having decks either Dorugoras be your multi-attackers, as long as they end up taking out opposing Digimon. Hence why this deck's main crux is your opponent having board presence, since for the most part Collision requires targets in order for it to force blocker onto them and then force the opponent to block. And both Dorugoro's all turns effects require another Digimon to be deleted in order for it to unsuspend itself. Though another crux in this given that it's another tool in the sense, is the fact that we also have the option of the BT17 Dex Dorugoramon, given that it's inheritable, allows you to grants another ability of removal at the end of attack, to then be able to self-trigger both effects. Though, given how I built it, given how my build works, it sorta loses that crux. So you're also free to throw in Dex Dorugoramon to help with consistency in some degree. But overall, that has been my deck profile on BT17 Dex Dorugo on the Dex Dorugoramon deck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and this is CyberJaws signing off.